Hello, everyone. Welcome to Our Stories. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to come see us speak. My name is Karan Khanna. I'm currently attending the University of California, Los Angeles, and I'm pursuing a double major in statistics and mathematics. Even today, in my second year of college, it's still unbelievable at times that I'm attending UCLA, or even the fact that I get to study abroad. It's such a big privilege. But things were very different about 3 years ago in May 2017, when I had just decided to apply abroad. I had no idea what it meant to, apply abroad. I didn't know what you needed. Till then, I was just following the herd mentality of I need to do engineering and take the JEE. And I was part of an IIT tuition as well. Weirdly, my applying abroad journey started from my IIT coaching when I had done pretty well in an exam, actually, the last one I ever took. And my professor had come to me and said, "Hey, Karan, you did really well in this exam. But I still feel like, you're not living up to your potential. I feel like you're not extremely passionate about this. Why don't we discuss, what you're truly passionate about?" And after a short conversation, I explained to him that, I'm interested in economics and wanted to do something with business in the future. And then he asked me a very simple question that, changed my entire view of life in a sense. He asked me, if you want to study economics, why are you settling for less? Why don't you go to the best university in the world for economics? And that really got me thinking. I couldn't see why not. So that night, me and my parents sat down and we Googled best universities for economics in the world. And we got this big list of Harvard, UPenn, UCLA, all these big universities that are really good for economics. But I still didn't know exactly what you needed to do to get in. So me and my parents both confidently like, okay, Karan's going to Harvard now, no actual realization of how heavy the whole process was. So with that confidence, we went to a college counselor, and he was looking at my profile page. It usually is 2 to 3 pages of academic achievements, sports, etc. But mine was just one piece of paper, half filled with two things: DJing and dramatics. Just two extracurricular activities, nothing that spectacular in academics. He looked at that sheet and he laughed at me. It was a very, very powerful moment when he did that. He laughed at me and said, "DJing, drama, you want to do these things and get into a college like UCLA?" He had mentored a senior of mine in high school who got into UCLA, and he said, "If you want to get even into a university close to a college like UCLA, you need to be like this senior." He, for some weird reason, he kept mentioning UCLA. It's very serendipitous now that I look back at it, but he kept mentioning UCLA and how I would not get in, and that my profile was basically a joke. That meeting really shook me to my core, and it destroyed my confidence about myself, as well as my parents were very annoyed that I didn't spend so much time on academics. I only spent my time pursuing these frivolous activities. uh, this had me really worried about my future, and I feel like a lot of you who haven't yet gotten into university may have been at this position in some time where you worry about your future, and am I even going to get into college? Am I good enough? I hear all these legendary people getting into legendary universities, but I'm not like them. And that's what happened to me. I was really, really frustrated and scared, but I chose not to give up, and I had another meeting with another counselor, and that was Shaista and Ivy Aspire. And it was funny because I still remember that day very well. I had to sit down and fill in another profile form, very similar to the last one. And this one had like a format, but I skipped the academics, skipped the sports, and went straight to the extracurriculars because I had nothing to fill. So I basically almost handed a blank profile, just two things at the end. And I still remember my parents sitting nervously in front of Shaista, and Shaista looks at the extracurriculars sheet and she just smiles. And before she could say anything, my mom just kind of got a little frustrated and said, "Yeah, yeah, don't worry. He's not going to DJ anymore. He's not going to do theater anymore. He's going to only focus on academics. Karan's going to change the way he is. Academics." So it it was an interesting sight. And Shaista, while my mom was, ranting and venting about, my lack of academic ability, was just smiling at her calmly and said, I don't think you need to worry. We're going to build a college application that represents who Karan is, and that is a DJ and a thespian who can do well in academics. The academics part we can fix. We have a good start, which is a profile. Especially when you're applying abroad, having a strong personality really gets you into the right place for you. So over the next 6 months, I had this hidden, this latent motivation that came out because of this one meeting. Because it was so nice to know at least one person believes in me, and that meeting helped my parents also believe in me. So I had a very good support system. So I feel like without that meeting, I wouldn't be able to crunch 4 years of work into 6 months. So I'm still very grateful for that. However, continuing, over the 6 months, I had to take my standardized tests. I had to do extracurricular activities. I had to get my grades in order. I had to do standardized testing, English proficiency testing, a lot of things. And I struggled a lot because this is the first time I had to balance so many deadlines, so many tasks at the same time, and still do well in school, because our school didn't really support going abroad. They were more of an India focused school. So to be able to manage all of this outside of school while trying to do well was definitely one of the hardest things I've ever had to do in my life. And at the end of it, I was, with the help of Ivy Aspire's whole planning approach, I was able to really take chunks of time and fit in different activities, and I think I did pretty well. I was able to get a 35 on 36 in the ACT with the help of the Ivy Aspire standardized testing coaching. I was able to come first in all 6 inter-school events that I went for. They ranged from fashion to business. It was very fun. I was able to do pretty well in my boards. I met my predictive grades. And of course, the best day of my life was the day I got into UCLA. I just, from UCLA being a word that made me feel underconfident because it was used against me to make me feel like less. Now it's my home, and, something I can be proud of for the rest of my life. And, as I got into UCLA and I was in my summer break, I was looking back at some of the times I was really feeling down because of, how difficult this process can be and how alone you can feel at times, because there's always going to be a moment where you are alone. You're typing out your essay. It's 3 a.m. It's due tomorrow. And, uh, I hated that feeling because I resent being lonely and feeling helpless. And I really wanted to do something for my future students who are graduating after me. I wanted to be able to help them, feel a little less alone. And that's why I started Our Stories. I started Our Stories with Shaista so that we could help create a platform for students like you who are viewing us today to give you a better sense of the college application process and help you understand that, hey, you don't have to be Superman to get into college. It's actually pretty simple if you can figure out the right track and plan it well. We have some great speakers here who can agree with me that getting into college is one of the best feelings ever, and it's an appreciation of all your hard work that you've put in through this entire process. So again, I would like to thank Ivy Aspire and Shaista for helping me create Our Stories into a year-long tradition, which I hope lasts for years to come and helps as many students as we can. And I would like to thank you for attending this conference one more time. And now I would like to hand it over to Shaista to tell us her story.